Yo, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and today we're going to do the Saki matrix optimization test thingy words. I mean, essentially we're going to take a whole bunch of matrices, mix them together, set some baselines, you know the drill, and see which one is actually better. And we have some pretty interesting results. So without further ado, if you guys can hit that like and subscribe, check out the Tower of Fantasy playlist, and let's go. All right, welcome on in everyone. You guys know the drill. So we're gonna have to set up a baseline. In order to do these tests, we need to set up a baseline. So the first thing I do want to talk about is the gear. Now we're gonna have a little bit more fun with this character than we did before. We're actually going to up the frost attack by to about 7,500, and then we're gonna drop the crit as low as we can. So that means we're gonna equip each piece of equipment minus the gloves, and then we'll actually put boots on as long as they don't have crit on them too. So we want to get that crit to about down to 5%, which is where we're at, just to make sure the numbers do play out. Now, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to level. This is going to be a 6-star test, so adjust your numbers accordingly. We're going to put every weapon, 3 weapons, at 140 across the board. And then what we're going to do on top of that is that we're going to make sure there's no matrices on any of the weapons unless it calls for it, and we're not really going to attack on any of the other weapons, because none of the matrix call for that happening. So we might have to equip like 4-piece Saki on a separate weapon, but then we'll take that into account and everything like that. We're gonna do the normal rotation where we hit the skill, go through 30 seconds. I'll play that in super high speed, quick, and then I have all the numbers broken down in a spreadsheet at the end of the video where we can kind of just talk through it and then my 2 cents on it. So let's go kick it off. Quickly, before I forget, we're going to do all the matrices at level 1 with no stars on them. Now, I could have done that. I could have increased the stars, but that would have just made the numbers a little bit too funky, and it would have increased our crit and a few other stats as well. So I wanted to keep those as low as possible. So every single matrix we put in there is just going to be a level 1 star, and that should give us the results we're looking for. So if you're looking for those 3-star results, just take the percentages that we get and just like all the way through the roof, right? bop the beep the bop the boop the bop the baby. All right, even though that only took about like 3 minutes, it took me about 45 minutes to test all that. That was pretty crazy. So I kind of just want to run through these numbers and how I did this test. Now, there is so many other dynamics that could happen, right? There's some other combinations you can do. 3-star matrices. When your matrices level up, you're going to hit even harder, right? Depends where your weapons are, depends where your stars are, everything like that. So we tried to take a, we tried to level it out, right? And then there's probably some differentials depending on, sometimes my rotation might have like got an extra rotation because I was really fast at left clicking. I don't even know, right? So, but this gives us a general sense. So let's go through these tests. Now we did everything. Let's start with the base, right? We got about 873,000, give or take. So we put it at 873 because that gives you a good idea of what's going to happen. Now, the other thing I do want to point out is that some of these numbers are rounded out because it's a little bit harder once you get into the millions with their damage calculator. But anytime there was a little erroneous, I did modify those numbers based on all the variables we were able to see. But more or less, I haven't messed with that. So the base is around 875,000. Now, some things I want to point out is that some of these are very free-to-play friendly. Shiro and Samir, very free-to-play friendly. Samir and maybe 2-piece Saki could be free-to-play friendly. You could also do Samir plus Crow, but we can't test Crow against the dummy. So instead of Shiro, put Crow in there. You'll probably get similar results, if not a little bit better. So some of these are free to play. Like I would probably label this as free to play. And depending if you're going to stop at 1-star Saki, like I said, you might go for the 2-piece matrices. And this could be a light spender, right? Any of the times that you do a 2-piece Saki. And it depends on where you are with your other ones as well. But look at these numbers. You can see that our combined total, we have them all here. Now we do a division against the base number. And that gets us how much percentage more we do with matrices. So that Shiro plus 2-piece Saki, about 31%. You can see Samir plus Saki, about 25%. This was the lowest of the all, so pretty funny. A light spender actually does less than Samir and Shiro. But the thing I do want to take out is that you should probably remove like, I don't know, probably like 4 to 8% off this number, because remember, Shiro only works in the first 50% of health. So we have to figure out a way, and I wrote that in the notes. Shiro falls off after 50%. I need to figure out a way to calculate that. If there's any math geniuses out there, would love to hear from you. And because we can't test Crow. So honestly, this one is probably the worst. The Samir plus Shiro. And Samir plus Saki actually did pretty good damage. You can see here 41% for that light spender, 2-piece. Shiro plus Saki, 31%. That's a little typical. And then we had, funny enough, our 4-piece Saki did not do very good at all. That was actually the lowest number we have. 4-piece Saki on Saki was the lowest, and that's pretty crazy. But then again, you're not supposed to put Saki on Saki. You're supposed to put it on another character. So that was just for the funsie test. Now the big boy test, right? Samir plus Shiro, Saki 4-piece on that Frig weapon, right? 68% damage increase. Absolutely crazy. 2-piece Frig, 2-piece Samir with a Saki 4-piece, 42%. Pretty good, but not better than Samir Saki 2-piece on Saki. Pretty crazy. Same thing with 2-piece Saki with Samir and Shiro. Now these numbers, I should probably do some more tests, but man, they were just so close that it did not quantify it. Now, probably over the grand scheme of like 5-10 minutes in a boss fight or anything like that, you're probably going to do more damage than this 42, but pretty crazy. Now, the one that really took the cake was Samir plus Shiro on Saki weapon, Saki 4-piece on Frig, and then 2-piece Frig on any other weapon. Now, this number actually should be a lot higher than 73% because you get 10% frost damage from that 2-piece Frig every single time you switch weapons. But in this test, I only switched weapons once in the beginning of the fight because it would have been a little ill-practical with doing that. But if you're in a real-life situation, boss fight, you're probably switching weapons every like 8, 7, 10, 15 seconds, right? So that number is probably up another 10 to 15%. This is obviously the winner chicken dinner out of them, but they're all good across the board. So Just quickly, my 2 cents. I think you should grab, if you guys can, if you saw my other Saki video, 1-star Saki, perfectly acceptable. That's what she's there for. She's there to reset your skills. And then honestly, after One Piece, if you did want to go more into it, I would try and go for the 2-piece or 4-piece Saki instead of stars on Saki. That's kind of my 2 cents on that. But very free to play friendly right here, Samir Shiro. Very free to play friendly Saki alone. All right, cool. I know that was a lot of math. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys actually enjoyed this, if this cleared some things up for you, and this should be a pretty good primer for you too. I have another video on the way, which is 6-star Frigg versus 6-star Saki. Which one actually does more damage? Because I think there's been a lot of questions out there on who is your primary DPS right now with the changes they've made in global. So I'm going to test that. Or I'm going to test it in many ways as possible with some matrices and stuff as well. I'll let you guys know who probably is the winner. I think it's Saki, but it might be Frigg. Who knows? I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down below, even if it's to call me a baka. I do appreciate that. And fist bump from me to you.